Wozniacki still in frame for return to number 1, 6 years later. Melbourne, Australia. Caroline Wozniacki had just been beaten by Kim Clijsters in the 2012 Australian Open quarterfinals, causing her to lose her number 1 ranking on the WTA Tour, and she had some fighting words. "I will get it back eventually, so I'm not worried," she said. "The media talks to me like I'm finished. The fact is I still have quite a few good years in front of me." Fast forward to this year's Australian Open, where Wozniacki's win in the third round on Friday leaves her with a chance to regain the number 1 ranking, 6 years later. If so, it would be the longest gap between stints at the top since the WTA's computer rankings were introduced in 1975. She might take some solace from the fact that the current longest streak between players returning to number 1 is held by Serena Williams at 5 years, 29 days. The 27-year-old Wozniacki also faced criticism during her first stay at number 1, which included year-end top rankings in 2010 and 2011, that she'd never won a major, unlike Williams' current 23. And that hasn't changed either. Maybe this year. On Friday, 2 days after she came back from a 5-1 deficit and saved 2 match points in the third set to beat Janufet in the second round, she had a 6-4, 6-3 win over Kiki Bertens that wasn't without late drama, both with closing out the match, and with her criticism of the chair umpire. Wozniacki had to save 4 break points while serving for the match but clinched it on her 4th match point. After coming so close to being knocked out of the tournament, she sounded like a gambler with cash in her pocket. "Right now, playing with house money," Wozniacki said in an on-court television interview. "Nothing to lose. I got a second chance. I'm just going to try and take it and see how far I can go." Wozniacki wasn't happy with chair umpire Renaud Lichtenstein. She had complained about a few line calls, and that the court was slippery in several areas. "I've never had this guy before. But I think he did a poor job today," Wozniacki said. "If the court is wet, I think it's normal to ask for a towel. I don't think someone needs to be rude, and I told him so. I think there were some questionable calls, as well." Watching from Wozniacki's support section was former NBA player David Lee. In November, the former New York Knicks forward proposed to her during a holiday on the French Polynesian island of Bora Bora. "All I'll say is it was a surprise, it was amazing," Wozniacki said earlier this week of Lee's proposal. "Had the best off-season. We had a great time traveling a little bit, exploring some new places. I was really recharged when I finally got back on the court again. Perhaps enough to get her back to number 1.